Hello, everyone. We are live. We are doing a special episode about colorism today. We're going to kind of get serious. We can still have a little fun with it, and we're going to respect everyone's opinion if you come on, and all opinions are welcome. It's a safe space to talk about this hot topic that has been like in reality TV and in pop culture. So, we're going to play our intro, and then we are going to get into it. I don't know which one is it.
To the money, come on and get this honey. Come on, I show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on, I show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on, I show you how to get to the money. We ain't gotta hate, it's enough space. Bakery, make bread, and we get cake. Wait, face beat to the God. I beat all the odds. Stay on the job, get money. In the land of milk and honey. If you're married, keep your legs funny. Yeah. You wanna eat it 'cause it tastes like honey. Got me feeling like ooh. He love honey like Pooh Bear. Come first like a new year. What you really tryna do here? I'm a vibe, I'm a mood, yeah. Come on and get this honey. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and get this honey. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on.
All right, y'all. So, how's everybody's day? Let's start with that.
It's going.
It's going. Are y'all ready for the holidays?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not doing much, so I'm ready. I'm not doing a whole bunch of cooking.
I'm cooking. I'm only cooking because I can't go nowhere. I can't go with nobody else.
I know. I'm
Why
doing
not?
my parents, so they cooking, and I'm going to eat. And then I got to get back on my little health kick. But okay, so we're going to talk about colorism.
Right. Monday
And-
morning.
What you say,
Right, Monday.
I said right. Monday morning.
Monday, yes. We're going to get on it. And everybody, we should start some type of challenge or something to motivate each other. We can talk about that later.
Okay.
But so we have somebody on. Hopefully more people come on. I gave like an hour's notice of us going live. So anyway, we're going to talk about colorism. We really feel like we're going to talk about it reality TV, but also our lives as well. We feel like that Potomac is probably the one that has the most, I guess, colorism surrounds it the most. It like lives with them. It's like another cast member. So we chose a cover with them, and then I like Callie did EveryHue, which is Giselle's little thing. But so what do you all want to start with this on the colorism issue? I know Joy had some points.
Just that I was just gonna do the definition.
Okay.
Just so we're I wanted to just so we at least have a definition that we could all. Colorism is actually a fairly new word. Although
Okay.
it was coined in books, it was a book, it was coined in 1964, but it was different than something that was written in 1983. Because
Okay.
argumentatively, Alice Walker book.
Mhm.
Alice Walker book.
Okay.
She wrote a book. It was called. It wasn't Secrets. It wasn't the follow-up for The Color Purple. But it's
Okay.
something she wrote in 1983. I can't think of the name of it. But it's defined as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic racial group.
Okay.
So when I read that definition, the first thing that I thought of was, how we were trying to argue like, so we can't call so and so aggressive because that's considered colorism.
Yes.
But everybody can say everything against the green dye bandits.
Yeah, yes.
In Potomac. So,
but it's light skinned.
It's not colorism.
People, is that colorism towards them or no?
no,
That's what I was.
colorism is only toward darker skins, but that's a conversation.
It's within the black community for different shades of brown, I guess.
So it's in
it's not just black people.
No, it's Asian.
It's
Asian, Latino. It's Indian. Bollywood.
Girl. They actually got a legal caste system.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just toward dark skins, though. Is that what you said?
That's what the definition says. I think in our heads we've kind of broadened it.
And
This is
that's why I
really an
wanted to do the
urban legend, or not an urban legend, kind of a urban slang that has become mainstream.
Okay.
Because one of the things, it was a thing that I was looking up, it was talking about the history of colorism, that it wasn't in the dictionary until
Yeah, because I'm looking in the
recently.
dictionary
It
now.
wasn't in the dictionary until recent. Like you could find it in stuff, but you couldn't find it in a dictionary.
Yeah, it's in there now.
I mean,
yeah, it's in there. I was looking. I was like, I can't believe it's in
well,
there.
it is now, but
But it wasn't then.
Yeah, it wasn't always. Yeah, it's a fairly new defined term.
So it says,
but it's definitely in the Latino community.
Oh, most definitely.
There was a movie that came out
In the Heights.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie, but everybody was complaining about it
because he just used a fairer color.
Yeah. And do you guys know, Joy? You both probably know this. How it actually got started? Why they started separating it by light skin, brown skin, darker skin?
I mean, that goes all the way back to slavery.
Talking about slavery?
That literally goes back to slavery.
So for anybody that doesn't know, it does go back to slavery. They wanted to separate it, and they said the light skins would be inside, and the dark skins would be the ones outside doing the hardest work. Yeah, and I thought that was interesting the first time I heard that.
It created a divide among us,
exactly.
You know, and it's still playing a trick on us.
Right.
If you've ever heard the Willie Lynch story, while there's an argument that speech never happened, I'm not going to argue about that. But if you've ever read it, it is a true depiction. There's nobody that can read that and not walk away. And basically, the Willie Lynch was a speech that they're saying that a white guy named Willie Lynch stood in front of a group of white people and taught them how to control Black people for generations and generations and generations. And you separate them, the light versus dark, old versus young.
The different languages, like, because they didn't speak all the same languages, so they would make sure that they couldn't communicate with each other.
That's why Black people sung so much.
Yeah.
Because they found creative ways to try to communicate. And I mean, just think about, we teach, and about the 3rd or 4th grade, they teaching children about the drinking gourd. Have y'all ever heard that song? The drinking gourd was the old spiritual, and you actually hear it. I think they did it when, if you've ever seen the movie of the show Underground, in the first season when they were about to escape, the drinking gourd is the shape of the stars, and it was telling Black people how you should be able to escape and what star to follow. So though we couldn't write a map, a person could sing a song, and it was a map.
It was the map to do
it. And it was a map in your head. So because while, we didn't know the land, because the reality is Black people were chosen for a reason. And one of the biggest reasons is that we didn't know the land, because that they tried to enslave Native Americans.
Right, but they knew the land.
And the back-breaking, the work, in books that I've read, said that they would have rather killed themselves than been forced to do that. Yeah. So when because originally, I'm not even finna go there. But when Black people came here, we didn't know the land, we didn't know the language, we couldn't get back home.
Right.
So we were kind of forced here. Of course, we were forced here, and they got you here. They took away they separate the families once you get here. It's a lot of things that Black people are dealing with in this modern day 2021 that are directly linked. Just even something as simple as how our men communicate with their own children can be directly linked to slavery.
To slavery.
I agree.
Yeah, but colorism is definitely linked to slavery.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm sitting here and you think there was people, probably darker hue people, because they were allowed in the house. And they felt like they didn't work as hard. So then they kind of resented that and then became upset with them instead of being upset with the people who forced this to happen.
They also forced us to tell on each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you had to gain their trust. So that's a lot of that is that. Right. That's why Samuel L. Jackson was depicted so bad. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It was a distrust. If you ever watched the Alex Haley movie Queen,
oh yeah,
at some Raven Simone was the little girl, and Jasmine Guy was the mom. They actually took her away from her mother.
Yeah.
So that could, and told the lady inside, the missus is what she was, that I'm gonna teach you. You know, don't go down there to get in your mama's Negro ways.
That's right.
It was even when her mama was down. I know she still saw her mother, but even when her mother is, you just have no control over your life.
Yeah, then you remember when they said they would, if the baby was born, they would like give them baths and milk to try to keep them to have the lighter skin.
Just think about, we had babies, don't they still look at the ears?
They do. They say, look at his ears. Look at their ears. She's gonna be large. She's gonna be light.
Yep.
So
why do you guys think we stuck to some of those negative practices though?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
You know, why did we ever do that?
I think because there's, hey Velma, I think because there's so much put into beauty today. I really think that's it. The beauty standard is so close to what a white woman would be that even white people, just think about Kim Kardashian, who looked like for some reason she 2 steps from being, she brown.
Yeah,
I mean, so they get the benefit of looking black without being
black. And I say that all the time. They want our skin and they tan. I'm like, if you don't like black skin, why do you tan? And then
they don't want to be black. They want to have some color, but they don't. It's crazy to me.
But I don't understand because we like color, beauty, and everything. We like the birds to be different colors. We like different color paint. We love different color flowers.
That's true.
Why is different color people? Is it because of when they grew up, the white people felt like the only way to be over us was to diminish our skin color?
I don't think. Well, yeah, I mean, everything is based off of their standard.
Right.
In the United States, what makes you successful is based off of a white person's standard. Yeah. Because you're not really successful until you move out the hood.
That's true.
You know what, and if you real successful as a black man, we hold our breath because we just know that it's possible that he going home to a white woman. And in his wealth, if we think about black men, because the wealth is always based off of the man. The wealth, that's not true. The woman, because the man usually dies earlier. So that you carry what that mother, the wealth is going with that mother. 9 chances out of 10. Not all.
And if she's a white woman, it's going with her.
It's going with her. So it's not. So that black money is no longer within, it ain't even ours in one generation.
Or when they get a divorce, she's getting a whole bunch of that money.
I mean, for real.
For real.
So when you think about why some of the, when you think about why some black people kind of pick the shades, it's because our black men of large numbers, when they get those dollars, they go right to that lighter shade. So
why do you think that?
Yeah, so of course you would think
that's the embodiment of success, though.
Yeah. So when we're looking within ourselves, if there is somebody who's brown skinned, they are going to want to go in that direction. So it's hard sometimes. I would think that it's even harder when we are trying to stay together as a people and grow as a people. But yet when we reach a certain status, our people leave.
That's
so that
and
needs
and if you have a black mother, I don't understand. And she raised you, she bathed you.
She could have been a nightmare, and a lot of them be so afraid to marry that nightmare.
So you think that some of the mothers are nightmares?
Some, not all. Definitely, I ain't gonna even say most. I won't
I
even say
wouldn't
that on
think
black
that
women.
because I
But
mean,
I think that there are small cases because I've
right.
heard of them. I've heard of them where you have, just think about that one movie about the football player whose mother, it was some problems with the mother, and this white family kept him, and he would
Yeah, it
become
was
a
out
pro
about 3-4
player.
years.
Oh, The Blind Side.
Yes, The Blind
Yeah.
Side. And the real story isn't too far off.
Right.
He could read and stuff. So they tried to make it act like the boy couldn't read.
Yeah.
He was pissed about this.
Right, I would have been mad.
But there was I think his mother, financially was having a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So so we know there's white privilege, and then there's light skin privilege, right? Do you believe that there is either one, white privilege and light skin privilege?
I mean, they say it is. I ain't never experienced it, so I ain't saying it don't exist because I ain't light skinned. So, but I know people. I think there's pretty privilege.
I think so too.
And I don't think that matters in what tone your skin is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are prejudices against overweight people. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're versus skinny. Two people could be qualified for the same job, go on the same interview, and one be denied because I could see the circumstances. Somebody being too dark, not being picked.
That's
somebody
crazy.
being overweight and not being picked. Somebody who maybe just isn't attractive.
Velma got something.
Somebody that is, that I think that, and although people would argue there is a preference because that's a man's favorite comment, I can't help what I prefer.
Well, you can't help your picker. Like you see something and that's what you like. But why is that what you like? What made you think in your brain that's what you like? Like there's got to be something that makes you think that's better. Or
I would say society does that.
So Velma said, I think men feel like that about black women, and they like the pink toe. I think they have some deep. What is the pink toe? Is that a white toe?
The pink toe.
Is that a reference to her privates? I think a lot of times
the privates.
Well, it's pink. Suppose. Go ahead. Sorry.
But
go ahead.
I have no idea.
Go ahead.
What did you say before that, Monty?
I don't know. I pink toe in my head.
Right. I just went completely blank, trying to figure out what the heck is pink toe.
Velma, what's a pink toe? Because you got me. I think I was talking about privilege. It can be all kinds of privilege.
Yeah.
I know this. I watched the show. It's called the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. And to me, they always pick the darker skin.
Jill Jones was a Dallas Cowgirl.
And I always wondered why they did that.
Jill Jones.
Who is that?
Who's that?
Is that
from Girlfriends?
Girlfriends. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pink toe is white women.
Oh,
okay, Velma.
Really?
I got you, girl. I heard of pink nipples, but not pink.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. It was about preference. There are a lot of black men that say, well, I just like my preference. The issue that I have is most of them, their next line is going to say something negative about black women.
I know.
It's never just like, it's one thing if you a black boy, you done been to school all your life and that's all you've seen. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I mean, however I may feel about it, I get that. And
hey, Jamila, go ahead, Jordan. We'll play her after this.
I forgot what I was going to say.
The privilege, and he said something bad about the woman. I feel like if you say I like white women, you shouldn't say because black women do this.
Exactly.
Do that,
Yes.
And don't diminish us or demean us to make yourself feel okay for liking what you like. Yeah. You know what I mean? To justify what you like.
Right.
Because you can't say all black women are like anything because we're not all the same. Yeah. So Jamila says pretty privilege is determined by what is deemed as pretty by society, which does include colorism, texturized, featureism, body type, etc. I do agree with that.
I agree. Y'all watch Insecure?
I have not watched the last season.
No. Just this season.
I haven't watched this season.
Oh, okay.
Never
One of
heard
the
of
things that Molly, y'all know who Molly is.
Yes.
That's Issa Rae's best friend.
Best friend.
They cut off her hair, and this is how she wears her hair in real life.
Yes,
Molly.
because she was in that
And when I
movie.
say
on
it's kind
Hulu.
of like a boy haircut.
Yeah,
A
like a
bob,
mohawk.
little- yeah. Not even a mohawk.
Oh,
It's short. It's like
Tony Braxton short now, because
No.
hers is shaved all the way.
like you would get your 17-year-old sons.
Yeah, that's how Tony's is now. She just dyed it blonde.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got her hair cut off, and she got a little slit in. It looks nice on her. But one of the first things I remember seeing in that in one of the groups was that they took away her femininity.
Mm-hmm. So does hair define feminism?
I think so. I think most of a woman's femininity is based around her hair.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this thing says in Black families, Latino families, Asian American families, and obviously interracial ones, skin color can vary in gradients and shades.
So what happened if you lose all your hair and have like cancer?
You gotta get a wig. I mean, that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because that's not where wigs really came from. No.
Well, I don't know.
Cleopatra wore wigs.
Yeah.
Well, I
don't
know they
it's
did,
because of
but the
cancer.
wigs, that was you talking about in Britain? They still wear wigs in court. That was like a party system.
Yeah.
Was the wigs.
Yeah. It's the wig. It was called the United States had the wig party.
Yeah, the wigs, yeah. So why do you think that light skin privilege? So do you think that happen? I don't know, because I feel like within I'm gonna talk about my daughter's generation, and maybe they're different. They're all different shades. My daughter's on the lighter side, but I don't feel like she gets any more than her darker skin friends. And it could be me being oblivious and blind to it, but I just don't see it. So how do you detect colorism? How do you see it?
I've seen it in art. I see it in art a lot. We grew up seeing it in videos. We may not have been conscious of it, but it wasn't a video. I mean, it seemed like they didn't just. I can remember watching one video that they just said, "Forget the light skinned girls, just give me white women,
white girls."
I'll even give you one better. Y'all remember the song "She's a Brick"?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever seen the original video?
I don't think so.
It's not one black woman in
You're
there.
lying.
I swear to God.
Is it not?
No, Joy.
There's not one black woman in there. No, it's just I like the epitome of that is like the song that would describe a woman's body.
Well, I can't remember who video it was, but they had they rated the women A, B, C, and D. And A was like the white girl with the blonde hair, the blue eyes.
Oh, that was somebody who did a call.
I think I know, but I'm not gonna say their name. And then B was Beyonce. And I'm like, how the hell is Beyonce B? A Beyonce type was B.
Beyonce would be an A for light skin.
No, it was white women with blonde hair. She was not that.
Oh, Beyonce, light skin, bad.
Yeah. She was B. Yeah. And I can't remember what C. And they didn't even want anybody else. So if that's what our people are seeing, then I guess that is what people think is beautiful. Magazine covers too. Do y'all think they play a role in that?
Yeah, magazine plays a role in it.
Definitely.
Hollywood in general plays a role in it.
And that's
some of the leading people are in multi relationships. And that's only going to get a larger crowd because that's what everybody now, not everybody, but a large part of our population is wanting to be interracial because that's Obama.
It's the end thing now to be in.
That's the direction of what they're going in. But
it's no longer
having
taboo.
said that, our families are going to continue to grow and going to continue to be more diverse. Will that have an effect on how we treat each other within, knowing that it's probably going to be a lot more light than it will be dark? Is that going to make it better or worse, or will it not really have an effect at all?
I think in a little while, everybody's just going to be the same color because everybody's mixing and mingling.
Y'all remember the quote that in 2050, white people would be a minority?
Because everybody's going to be at least a darker hue, if lighter or dark, whatever. And I think that's what they're afraid of. is because if we keep mixing, there will not be a white skin.
Well, that's why the Ku Klux Klan was created.
Yeah.
Literally, was to protect the virtue of white women. I mean, that's what Birth of a Nation was about.
Oh God, yes, that movie was
and we're going to support
it was about weed, which is so funny.
That movie.
It was about marijuana, because this is when marijuana became outlawed. This was about marijuana, protecting the virtue
of the white woman,
because it wasn't about property or that sort of thing. It was literally about that.
I remember watching that movie in TV production. So it says, so is there a difference between colorism? Can somebody look up racism? What is, because some people kind of get those confused.
Oh, now, yeah.
Well,
there
is can black people be racist? That's another thing.
Colorism is me. You have to see me. Racist is kind of like a more systematic thing.
Right.
Where it's not always obvious that somebody is being racist toward you. But colorism, I am a black woman. You cannot ignore me type thing. Racist is different because you could be racist to me and I might not even notice it. What the exact definition is.
Did you find it?
Oh, yeah. Before that, let me say this. Somebody explained it like this. If I am a teacher and I have a classroom full of kids and I have a white student, if I decide to give Billy a F because I just don't like him, just because he white, if I did something like that, that would affect Billy.
Of course.
It would not affect a generation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if Billy worked at a firm and he meets a black man named Tyrone, and he goes in front of Tyrone, and he has the ability, Tyrone is qualified, he checked the boxes, but he don't like him because he black. He has the power to affect generations that way. Versus if me being black discriminated against a student, I'm not going to affect generations.
Not generations of generations. Just that one person is affected, basically.
So that was the difference between racism and prejudice. So to answer the question, the answer is no. I can't be prejudiced. I mean, I can't be racist.
You can be prejudiced because you can prejudge somebody, but you can't be racist.
And and let me be clear, I would never do that to a student.
Oh, we know.
I just gave that example.
Yeah, we got you.
You would never do that to anybody, student or child or anything. I just want to say
that because I'm just thinking about that. I was saying it on camera.
Right.
To take that little snippet.
And just use that. We gonna play the tape, rewind it, play it back.
Right.
So it says that colorism is not something that white people can experience. Do they not have different colors?
No.
Not much, but
I don't know if they experience it like that. But
what about Dolores?
I think that they would argue. She's Italian, though. She's foreign.
Yeah, but she has color.
I mean, they're 90 miles from Africa.
I know.
So I mean, I don't know.
So you don't think they say that they think they're white?
No, but I bet you there is privilege, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh yeah, that's another
tall,
thing.
Slim. I think all races would have that, and I think girls may have self-identity issues no different than, especially white girls, no different than a little black girl. I don't think it would be any different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fights that. White people are more obsessed with being thin. Just think, we know that there are black girls that have eating disorders, but like usually the person who has the eating disorder is not even that fat. They ain't even overweight. We be looking at them like, girl, your body's perfect.
I have a friend like that. I'm saying, so if you think you fat, what you trying to say? Okay, because you was like 1 pound. Really? Yeah. But that's what they see themselves. They really do see themselves as really big.
So it's just I think every person, and boys may experience this as well. I'm not saying that they don't. I don't know, but I know that all girls go through that. I think that white girls probably they go against their own beauty standard.
Yeah.
So it says,
I will say,
go ahead.
getting back to the white boys, the black boys, growing up, and really all my life, there was always a time, verbally at least, where it was the light skin was in or the dark skin was in,
Yeah.
as far as men.
Yes,
I
they
don't
did.
remember that with women though, but men, this is the light skin season. Me,
I'll be
after
sure.
But
when
don't
was
you
that?
think that they had that was almost a joke?
Huh?
Was it like they have a thing going on TikTok right now? How dark skinned black men do this? Oh, it's so
Oh,
funny.
they do. This what
Like,
light
I'll
skin
give
men
you
will
one.
do. Yeah.
It's
They always
what
show Prince. Why they always show Prince though?
I don't know, but it's one on TikTok that this guy have, and he got like how black men work the grill. He out there flipping, doing what a black man
Oh my
do.
God, I'm gonna have
And
to go
it's
look at
like
some of that.
how light skinned boy man barbecue. He got hot dogs wrapped.
Right. He's like a little fancier, a little softer.
So but I thought they made a joke out of it.
But I do think
they could have.
But no, I do think when Al B. Sure and Christopher Williams and all them was out, they were
pretty.
in.
But
They
we
were
called
in.
it pretty. Oh, that's something else.
Pretty
We had
boys.
talked, that we associate light skin with femininity,
Yeah.
and dark skin with masculinity. So even when it's a dude like I'll Be Sure, like Al DeBarge,
Yes. Chico.
we're still calling them pretty.
Pretty
We
boy.
still saying they soft.
Yeah, softer.
You know that they're so we definitely see that, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. I think you do like the blacker guys, the Mandingo.
Yeah.
Apollo,
Oh, but you know why that is, though.
I do.
No, not just because
I know, but well, I go there first.
I think that in our heart of hearts, that's connected to
Look at them.
we think that the darker guy is, at least I do.
been?
I think they closer to God. I don't know why. I always thought
Which one?
The
The
darker
dark
one.
ones, or what'd you say?
yes,
You
I
spoke
always
about
thought that dark men are
Me
closer
too.
to God.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I just
Because
felt a
they're
biblical
pure man.
score every
When
time
God
I
made man, I know it was a black man. And he
Well,
wasn't
not-
no
yeah, not
light-skinned black man.
Not the man at Mary's church. Like Jesus on her thing, right? I
Huh?
said, why Mary, Salt Lake City? Why she got the white Jesus in her church? I ain't never understood.
And that's something else. Not even your God can be black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They make everything them.
And
I don't
we
understand.
follow suit. Like that just shouldn't happen. You in a black church. Why
I don't
wouldn't
understand
the
that.
people that you worship religiously not represent you?
How can they not look anything?
I mean,
like
even
you?
in China, all of their religious deities look like them.
Look like them. Yeah.
Well,
They're the
the
only-
houses here that don't look like us is because those older people that have the white Jesus on the wall, that's what they were, that they're making that white Jesus fit their lifestyles, because the white Jesus, his hair looks wool in the picture. Some older people,
Does it? I always thought it looked straight.
It was always straight.
He had blue eyes.
The definition of it, they're making the definition of it fit what they wanted to fit. My grandma always had the white Jesus on the wall, but then she also had the black Sister Diamond on the wall. But if we would talk about why isn't there
on
a
the
black
wall? I didn't hear
God
the
on
second
wall?
part. I'm sorry.
Jesus, a black Jesus, white Jesus on the wall. Why would there be a difference? She could always explain and say, we're just following what the Bible shows. It looks like the picture in the Bible from when you read it.
But I don't think that particular person may have said that, but think the people around you, there is a subconscious something when you're looking at the person that you're worshiping. And they don't look like you, and they look like another race of people. That is, you like, just think about the controversy that all the way back into the 70s, there was an episode of Good Times where James bought black Jesus, and do y'all remember? And they explained it, where it came from, and
my grandma did look like Jesus too. I mean, I really think that sometimes it goes back to what they think they're looking at. I don't know. My grandmother believed that Bible was telling her that's the right Jesus.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see. I mean, I'm sure they do think that. I don't know why, but
I think it's a generation of people that probably had to. I think that's what, and I think that's the reason why this generation of people don't want to go to a CMA church, a AMA church, half the Baptist church. They go on to non-denominational
That's what I go to
churches,
yeah,
because they're not connecting with the people. They're not the people don't want to walk up in no church. Like I know people that would leave specifically because of that.
Yeah, I would. I don't want to see that at all. I mean, not at all. So it says slaves with lighter skin are assigned domestic tasks, while slaves with darker skin were forced to work outside in the field. Light-skinned slaves were favored because they were often the product of a slave owner raping a slave, thus creating a lighter-skinned child. In the 19th and 20th century, the paper bag test was often utilized in black spaces and in hirings of black people. So if someone was the same color as or lighter than a paper bag, they would be allowed into the
paper bag.
Yeah, paper bag.
The brown paper bag experience. And that happened a lot within the black community. Some of the kids would be like, well, she can't go with us if she's not lighter than this brown bag.
Well,
if they're, I mean, that was a thing for a long time.
Oh,
if you light
skinned man is pretty. My experiences seem.
What was that saying we used to say when we was kids? If you
light, bright, and damn near white.
That's one.
That's one.
If you light, get something. If you brown, get down. If you black, get
back.
I know that.
I think
was that rhyme. If you light, it was something.
So while they still say light brown, light skinned man is pretty, my experience, it seems they were more mature. Oh. So, okay.
A whole of them? All of them?
Not all of them, because I know a few. Well, I got a light one. He good. He good. But so do y'all think that we have been brainwashed into this type of thinking? Yes, absolutely. Yes. We have been brainwashed. How do we get from it? I guess that should be the closing.
I think we should make conscious efforts not to say certain things. It's just like you have, and not allow people to say those things to your children.
Yes.
Like when my daughter was younger, people very randomly would walk up to her and say, "Oh, you're so pretty to be dark."
Yeah, my aunt
in their heads, that is a compliment.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I remember when we brought our daughter home. She's light and her eyes were blue when she was born. They're not blue anymore, but they're like hazily. But they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a red bone. We got a yellow one here." And I'm thinking, I put it in the sun because I was like, I don't want that for her. I don't know, but it's just why is that?
Elm yeller. Here comes those two elm yellers. That's for me and now I have 4 older brothers, but myself and the one above me, we were the only yellow people in the family.
Anybody else was dark.
And that was changed because of our offspring, and but I definitely heard darker skinned people intentionally go out to be with somebody they think is going to give them a lighter baby.
Yeah, they have one of my. She's called Pretty Black because she's darker, but she's pretty and black. Yeah, I'm just like, it never hit me that that's what they were doing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You all think that? I forgot.
We got a lot of people. I knew about 6:30 we would get more people.
That's true, Carla. Red bone is a good thing.
Until I heard.
Think about it.
My niece thinks being called red bone is cute.
Mm-hmm.
Colorism does not exist, and y'all have it twisted if you don't think it doesn't. It does exist.
It does exist.
Most of you have never experienced it.
Why can't you participate? We did it today because we thought you couldn't do it yesterday. Colorism does exist, and y'all have it twisted. You don't think it doesn't. Most of you I've never experienced colorism. I don't think
I've seen. That's something else I was going to mention. It's Tyler Perry movies. Here are some clear examples of Tyler Perry movies, his art, and how colorist he don't even realize he is.
How?
Watch it. Go back and think about
everybody in his movies.
The villain is dark skinned every time. Not sometimes, not most of the time. In
I don't
every
even know.
single movie. Go back. His
Felicia
first
Rashad
movie.
was a villain. She went
Who?
through. Felicia Rashad.
That's a new movie. And
Oh,
that's a new movie. I'm really talking about the black men.
oh, the men. I can't think of
Yeah.
no movies. Y'all help me.
Yeah. The black men. The black men are the
I don't believe a lot of brainwash. I've just known some people.
or just think about all of his movies.
I can't think of any.
And always a light-skinned
Tyler
brother
Perry.
would literally come and save the day. It's been
Oh.
like that in Meet the Browns. I was just watching it. Rick Ross, Rick Fox was the guy in there. What's his name? Lance Gross's daddy was real dark. What's his very first film? I can't think of it.
Medea?
The one with Medea, the only one that he didn't direct was his first film. And that was the one with not Mike and Sheila. Elise.
With the guy from The Practice. He was horrible.
Yes. He was the
Boris
perfect
Cujo.
example. Who was the savior?
Was it Shamar Moore?
Shamar Moore.
Yeah.
Now you could pick another one.
Oh,
now I'm not saying that he don't like Daddy's Little Girl. You got Edith. You're not gonna make him. He gave a good daddy right for him.
Okay.
No, so he wasn't a villain, but he really didn't. His baby.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to remember.
Yeah,
but yeah, like he has it really bad. There's actually a Boondocks episode mocking him about that. Because he does. Because he stereotypes. Now Blair Underwood was the bad guy in the movie.
Oh yeah.
But if you remember, who was the good guy?
I don't know.
Boris Kudrow. Because he married her sister.
Yeah.
So it says we have to change our mindsets. So you think it's Tyler Perry? I don't even think I've ever even paid attention to his movies though. Yeah. So Justina said, I don't believe that. I don't believe a lot are brainwashed. I just known some people for over 20 years and they just plain old mean and self-centered. No matter what color the person is.
Right.
And that could be very true.
I mean, you tell the truth about somebody.
Right. You talking right.
I mean,
so do you all have a preference of color if you date? If you date
someone.
When
we talk about some of the preferences and some of the differences, if we want to tie it back to the Potomac for a moment, why do you think some believe there's colorism going on within the cast and some don't?
I don't know. I feel like there's color. Yeah, I think it's colorism with the people who are watching.
What did you say, Joy?
I'm with her. I think I was saying that I think that's your experience, but I definitely agree with what you just said, Monica.
Yeah, I think it's more. I don't think it's colorism between me or her.
Yeah, right. I was trying to figure out which one.
It's so backwards. I wish we could.
I know.
So do y'all who are watching? Or listen, we have a few people that are looking and not saying anything, so we have a good crowd. But do you think there's colorism on any reality TV show? We will say Potomac for now because I think they are the one cast that has like the Rainbow Coalition of Black people. Like everybody's kind of a different shade.
And they initially didn't. Monique was the darkest one.
Yeah.
And the first season, Sharice.
And Katie wasn't that light.
Yeah, and she was the one that was biracial.
She was biracial. I think that made her mad too. But so Carla said it's how you act on Potomac. Okay, so she said, so that's what let's do this question first and then we'll get to Potomac.
Velma, okay.
Do you have a preference of men, like the color they are, or women? You can like women too. Nah. Oh, basketball. Yeah, we can talk about basketball too. Let's do that too.
I've never had a preference.
I never. Well,
I only had a handful of boyfriends.
Me too. I had married anyway. In my life, but
I think literally on. When I say opposite ends, one was so dark and chocolate. I knew he was close to God. And then, I'm telling you, on the other end was light. You just don't know.
So who was he close to?
Who?
The light one.
Oh no.
She wasn't close to God.
But I just always thought that dark, even when I've met Africans, they can be toe up. I
Yes,
just
dark
look at
skinned
them
men,
because
I'm
in
not
my
playing.
head they close to God.
Yes, Callie. I think if you cute, you cute. So I don't know. If you cute, you cute in my opinion. I don't care what your skin color is. But I do like a strong chin man. Like, But I will say that my dream guy, and I don't know why, was Michael Ealy. I have no idea why. I
He's a nice
love
looking guy.
Michael Ealy. Like he could get it right now. If he was
Lord.
Ealy.
And look, when
not
I
right
say
now.
close
Right
to
now.
God, I mean
What would Apollo
not
think?
I mean DNA wise. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not when it's hard. So who is Casper? That's a white person, right?
Casper?
Don't what? So
Don't.
Justina don't agree with Joy.
What
did
you
she
don't
say,
agree
Joy?
with, Justina?
The closer to God, probably, but she's not
Closer to
talking
God.
about religion wise.
Yeah.
I mean DNA wise.
I meant DNA, not. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That was just popping.
Because at first I'm
It's
like, who they
weird,
close
though.
to? I don't want to say the
felt
devil.
protected when I was with a dark-skinned man. I always felt protected. I swear to God. I just
Really?
Because you're
I
associated
always
with
felt
masculinity. I
Yes.
believe that.
So let's talk about Potomac. So who thinks that there is colorism within the cast? Not
do.
within the viewers, but the cast. You do. It's kind of
Oh, she don't
delayed.
deal with the closer to God, whatever. I
Yeah, I
meant
got her.
DNA wise though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
not-
boo is dark.
Okay.
But do you prefer dark or light, Carla? Or does it matter to you? Don't agree with close to God. So you said you do, Callie? Think
What?
that there's colorism within the cast?
I do. Yeah, I do. Because
I wish somebody give me an example.
That's what, Go ahead, Callie.
well, every time I see Candace, we know all of her little antics over the seasons, and we know how hard she gets called out about those antics. But when the lighter, brighter one does the same thing and doesn't get called out, I don't think it's just a matter of them not liking Candace or liking the other person more. I just think it's a matter of they're looking at Candace and her darker skin in a different way. They're looking at her or Wendy and finding them more hostile or aggressive acting than they do when they hear Ashley say something foul out of her mouth or Mia say something foul out of her mouth. Can you imagine if Candace had said that Mia's husband was in there tossing her salad in the kitchen and put that in Instagram or wherever? They are treated differently for the same thing. So to me, that is colorist to me. I could be wrong though. And
are you talking about within the cast members are treating them different, or the viewers, or both?
I don't know anything about the viewers. I'm only talking about the cast.
Oh, see, I know about the viewers from the comments they make because I read a whole bunch of comments. So that's why I feel like it's more of the people who are watching it because
But they're watching what they see happening on the show. So when y'all see that stuff happening, what do you call it? I mean, because I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm calling it colorism.
Hold on, we got some comments.
Really
I don't think it's. Let me read these comments real quick. I don't think there's colorism within the cast. The fans, which is what I was saying, promote the theory. That's a lie. I think lighter men have or think they have to. Oh, okay. How can that be prettier because it's lighter? Come on now.
I'm always scared of those. Okay, never mind.
I don't want a clear one. Okay. I do want to know what Karen meant by Wendy not making the other group.
Oh,
okay.
I remember that. I said that it's been 2 instances of times that I've seen colorism on the show. That's one of them that was really never addressed.
Well, hold on, let me read that. I want to know what Karen meant by Wendy not meeting. Oh, I remember. As a Black woman, we know the history behind being called aggressive. Okay.
Ferocious and etc. Okay, Lisa's. When Ashley was talking crazy, we just saw Giselle and Robin pull up on her. What does that mean, pull up on her? They are trying.
She drove to that restaurant.
But Ashley's lighter, right?
Is that what she's talking about? Oh, I don't know.
They are trying to tell Candace to chill. I think with Candace, they're just trying to tell her she's doing it a little too much. Like she doesn't stop.
But
If she was
I
stopping, I'd be
will, I
like,
will
no.
say this though. I think your point is valid. That I don't think it would have, but I think it was handled. Your point is valid. If Candace said that toss your salad and had posted that on Twitter, it would have been a pile of already crazy stuff she done tweeted. It was crazy that in retrospect that she tweeted that, but have watched it in real time because we talk about the toss your salad tweet.
Right.
Mia retracted that immediately. She soon as well, not immediately.
Well, they say
Chris responded and she
Right.
said, "Boo, I wasn't talking about you. Sorry." So it was kind of strange watching her at reunion. Now she's saying,
okay,
she did say I retracted it, but if somebody else had said that, it would have hit different. One of the things that I think is not going to, what is going to be Mia's issue moving forward, she lies so much.
Right,
She counted so many lies. So people may not take her seriously.
Right.
Like, ever. Because she allegedly not coming back.
That's what she say.
No, somebody claimed they have confirmed it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be hidden.
But she's not coming back because of her own terms or because Bravo?
Well, for one, she said that she didn't feel like this platform was a good platform for them. It's not. These are real business people.
Yeah, they are.
And it's hard to want people to take you seriously when they just seen you show your tail on Sunday night.
That's true.
So how is that not colorism, Joy? We're talking about the same thing. It looks like this comment, Robin has been aggressive for several seasons and never got labeled.
Go ahead.
How is that stuff not considered colorist? And when you said you think Candace was wrong a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to say maybe she has the wrong definition of it as well. So we're saying not considered colorism to you?
What particular event?
Anything at all, whether it's from Mia putting their hands in their faces and really getting called out, never. But yet Candace, we're ready to get her off the show. Let's do the petition. Mia,
when she did that, when what's her name did that initially, I ain't making no excuse for her, but when Mia initially did that to her, she was just talking. Just like if y'all notice, I just noticed that
I talk with my hands.
And she talked with her hand. And Wendy said,
"Oh, you froze." But Wendy talks with her hands too, and she puts her hands in people's faces too. I think they're the same people, just different colors. That's why they don't get along. But Joy, come back when you get a chance. So do you think that, so are you saying Giselle, Ashley, Robin, Karen, they're colorists towards Wendy and, well, talking to you, Callie, towards Wendy and Candace, and I guess potentially Monique?
A little bit, yeah.
Let me text Joy.
It's hard to say that it's anything different than that. You all want Candace to pull back a little bit. But nothing's ever said to the people that started the trouble. So she's always given a harsher label. It's easy for me to look and see why somebody might call that colorism.
Right.
But if it's something else, then I would need that definition.
I don't know what else it could be then. Because they're lighter, right? So if they were darker and they told her to chill, would they be colorists?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But they are lighter, and they've been doing the same thing the past few seasons that she's been on there. And even when they've done some of the same things, she's called out harder than anybody else on there.
I agree with you on that, because I feel like,
and you don't think it's colorism,
but I feel like it's with the fans more than anything. Because I feel like Karen really said some of the worst things out of her mouth most of the time. And people think it's funny. They never say that she's bad. They never call her aggressive. I mean, she talked about Giselle's vagina. She talked about her stovepipe legs. She talked about the way she dressed. She talked about her not finding a man. Like she said, she called her a broken whore, a drunk, a this, or that, and nobody says anything. But if Candace would have said something to that stuff, they would have.
Say it.
They would have really. So I don't understand. I think it's favoritism. Could it be favoritism?
I don't think it's favoritism. I really go back to what I said before. I think it's because Candace isn't realizing that the situation is escalating.
Okay, it's just we have to get to the escalation though. So the minute something happens, whether it's escalated or not, if she's saying something back in response to Mia or anybody else before it gets escalated, even, you know, we were talking, that thing was said 3 weeks ago. Why is she still going off? Well, even when it was said 3 weeks ago, she still got called out and continues to get called out about it. Yet Mia or whoever didn't get called out about anything that they did to her.
But the other person isn't the one escalating it. That's Candace's issue.
The other person is the one that started the trouble. So if you initiated the trouble, no matter what that trouble is, you initiated it. So, you know, I'm not even going to repeat what I repeated 900 times.
I understand what you're saying, but
how is that not colorism?
I think people are seeing it though, feeling like her response is so severe and it just won't stop. Wow, that's the issue. I call you ugly. I call you ugly, so you now have the right, because I called you ugly, to torment me for 3 days.
Yeah, because I think
3 situations.
Well, see, I think I said this earlier. I think I said this earlier was that when Candace if they do start with her, she goes so far that the person starts feeling sorry for the person who started it with her. They forget.
Yeah.
I don't care if she was light. They forget what that person has done to her, because what she is doing to this other person is
so bad.
That's how we work as humans. It's so extreme. I mean, that could be anything.
That escalation, though. You have to get there.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. What do you mean?
Oh God, no! In life, no.
That's why I was saying that was.
We have to get to the escalation, or we wouldn't be talking about the escalation.
No.
What do you mean?
You don't have to. That's why they ask her. Do you?
I don't know what you mean by getting to the escalation, because in my head,
let me explain it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Explain it to you.
Yeah.
When her and Mia got, I keep using this one example because it's the only thing on my mind at the moment. When she simply said, "Your mama is low budget, watch your mouth." Period. There was nothing else she said before that or after that. So even in that moment, she was coming back at what Mia said to her. So before anybody even said, Mia, God, why'd you say that's not nice or whatever, everybody went dead in on Candace. So at the next event, when Candace did build, go ahead. At the next event, when
they went in on Candace in that situation.
You what?
I don't think they went in on Candace in that situation, did they?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think we're not thinking of what escalation means. Escalation is the situation. It never escalated really, because Mia didn't respond after she said your mama is whatever. So Mia didn't escalate it. Had she stood up and then Candace backed away, that's understanding the cue that, okay, she ain't playing no more.
Okay. But we still have not done anything outside of Candace's initial response. We're still there. So you're
I understand,
but response is escalated?
No, but Candace is normally the one that keeps. That's really not a good example.
Yeah, that's not the
because
best one.
Once Mia didn't respond,
it was dead.
I guess the situation was dead.
It's dead.
So it didn't escalate. I'm saying, had she stood up and started cursing her out, that's when you have to decide as a person: am I finna be big buck bad and go in with this girl, or I'm finna get out of here before this gets out of control? So you have to decide as a person and be able to recognize that this could escalate. That wasn't a situation that escalated, but a situation that escalated is when they were in their kitchen.
Yeah,
and they were arguing, and people was like, "Just stop," and going backwards and forward. And even when she was hurtling the craziest things with her. And I'm finna curse y'all, so if y'all listening, here it comes. When she was saying pimp, Come get your hoe. That was supposed to sting, but it didn't. And Mia was played with it.
Right.
It's like,
so
here I am.
Your
And
hoe is
the situation was escalating. Now, she could have enjoyed it and laughed it off, but it was escalated. She was even madder. And it just was getting worse. That's why when she
said, you don't belong here. You just got here.
So go upstairs and cry.
Well, let me read some of this.
Lettuce and threw it. Now, it wasn't, neither of the lettuce was harmful.
So is it possible that you guys aren't hearing it because you don't want to hear it? You don't really have
I didn't hear any escalation from Mia. I have to go back and watch
Mia?
it.
I'm not talking about Mia. Mia has started it. Candace has responded.
We're talking about the after fact. You still on the beginning.
That is the after effect.
No, it's not.
Is what happened after Mia sent her the whatever she did to her. That's her response.
Well, I guess I don't know if we're gonna ever understand this because
I get the response, but that's not the escalation.
That's not the escalation.
Remember, if I call you purple and I'm red, and I'm calling you out your name, and you respond, then I respond. Usually, there is a stance or something that people do that makes the other person retreat. An example that didn't escalate was when Mia was putting her hands on her face and she was like, don't put your hands in your face. And she said, and if I do, what you gonna do? Wendy all but took a step back and said, look, whatever she said, I can't
right, like we ain't going out. Like
she said, you're rude.
You could have escalated it or not. But somebody has to be able to recognize.
Well, let me get to we got a lot of comments. Retreat. So I think the ladies have to be cognizant of how they come off on camera. They may need to hire a PR person when they come off as super aggressive, angry, and unreasonable. And she said she don't care for Karen. I feel like Karen is just as bad as Candace on a lot of things. Candace got mommy issues.
We can't tell that.
Karen only goes in on Giselle. It's like they got a contract.
Karen, yeah.
Because
Karen, giraffe.
Karen didn't even say nothing to Ashley when Ashley was talking about Ray, because what's wrong? Allegedly Ray,
his penis,
and his inability to perform. That comes from Ashley. That's because Karen got drunk and started running her mouth, and Ashley threw that up in her face.
So she said, hold on. Oh, we believe that too. I'm gonna go down there. Candace has so much that she can focus on. She has Dorothy, Chris, and his personal chef stuff, the stepkids, her ventures. It's foolish that she doesn't use this platform to expand her brand and become favorite.
Yeah,
I feel like if her and Ashley became friends, they could run this place. Mia embellished a lot of things, but Candace would get beat up on Long Island for her mouth.
Oh, girl, yeah.
But she knows not to do that. Karen and Giselle, their beef is very fake, and I feel like, but I do feel like sometimes. And so is it a favoritism with Karen and Giselle? Because Karen can say anything about Giselle.
Anybody can say anything about anybody else on there, and they do.
I think that Giselle has no response, so the audience doesn't respond. A lot of times we're feeding off of our favorites.
Yeah.
Because Giselle has no response to nothing. What's worse than to say a woman is a whore?
Broken whore.
She got an STD.
Yeah.
Broken. Like, I don't even know.
She got a flappy vagina, a hot box.
Right. I was telling somebody what you said the other day. She said, never in my Black life have I ever looked at a woman and said she got a fat
vagina. I've never in my life.
That is the craziest.
I haven't.
Tweeted that.
So you think it's production? Is it Lisa's hoe? Is it? I hope I'm saying your name right. Let me know if that's wrong. Candace definitely focused on everything else in her life this season. They're going to show us what they want to, though. Production. It could be a production issue.
Well, I know that because one of the things that she did say in that book was somebody asked her a question about her mother or something, and she said her quote was, it amazes me that all of these women talk about my mother and what I don't do. She said, I'm the only, all these people launching these businesses. She said, I'm the only one that came into this show owning 2 businesses before we even came on this platform. But they don't never want to show you that, though. That's why I said, I don't know if this girl gonna have a job.
Chris have been going
her
at
quotes
it
were rough.
They were good, but she tells the truth. So the fan, and this is another thing. This is an escalation thing too. This is what we're talking about. The fans responded when Wendy kept attacking Giselle because she didn't respond. Giselle sit there. Wendy couldn't get a reaction out of her, so she kept going, and going. Now, if she would have just been like, Giselle, you hurt me. I can't believe you said that about my husband, my family, especially what you and Jamal went through.
Yes.
People would have Giselle.
Yep, you're not lying. That
but because she escalated it, people now sympathize with Giselle, and that's what we're saying. If Candace would
so
just,
crazy.
It's not. It's
that's biology.
That's like how you're made as a person. Like you do. You feel so, you forget.
I don't forget
what has been done because you have to stop it at some point, especially when you get 35.
But
now, when you're a child, I understand
that because somebody reacts harsher than you think they should, that we're going to forget what actually started the trouble. Think about if you applied that to your everyday life.
I do.
Then
well,
whatever.
I hope you don't. So you saying that every time somebody do something, you sound like Medea. Every time somebody do something to you, you're going to do it worse.
Your own life. Apply that to your life every day. If you only went after the person that responded instead of the person who started it, then that problem they started is just going to continue to repeat because they've never been stopped.
We talk about different things.
Oh yeah, I don't know what you're talking about now.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea. I thought you were saying
I got nervous.
I thought you were saying that basically revenge is your thing.
No,
like somebody do something to you, you gotta go back on it. I was like, this is Medea stuff.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my question is why are they so vested in where Giselle lays her vagina because Wendy was making me mad? I don't know. That's the problem with getting it into it.
Wendy
with Giselle.
was making
so
many of us mad.
I'm gonna tell y'all, and I don't think Giselle's a mean girl, but if y'all have ever watched the movie Mean Girls, Regina George creates all this chaos around her. It's a meme. And then she stands there still, and everybody around her is running. They're losing their minds. They can't figure out what's going on, and she's still. She causes it, and then everybody else explodes. And that is what I feel Giselle is. She's damn it, Regina George from Mean Girls.
Well, I won't go that far, but that is hilarious.
You gotta watch the Mean. Like,
I know that movie.
I've seen that movie. She is Regina.
Tina Fey.
Is that what Lindsay?
Yeah. Psychologists analyzed that book and said that it was perfect, near perfect. Yeah. Because it's the psychology of a girl.
It is, and she and
but I don't think she
and they let Giselle do this every season.
She produces.
Yeah, they let her produce them every season.
And she actually said in the book about the knife scene with Ashley and Candace. Do you know in the book, Giselle literally said, "Thank me for that."
For producing that scene, the knife scene.
Over and over again, because they wanted to have this conversation. So
and that's a gift. I think it's Lisa.
And I think some issues of jealousy. She may not be a fan favorite. She may not even be a favorite on the show, but she is it appears that the executives like her.
Giselle is the common denominator with everybody. She is friends, even our frenemies, besides Wendy, I think now, with everybody on the show. When something goes wrong, they all run to her. I don't care if they like her or not. So she is the one. But it is true. And that's why I said if Candace would just, when Ashley goes in on Candace, if she would just sit there and make Ashley look like a fool, Ashley wouldn't have she wouldn't even be on the show. We could get Ashley off this freaking show if she didn't respond to her. She wouldn't have a storyline. Giselle would have to come up with something else for Ashley to do for her to stay on the show. Nene was like that too. She would create some stuff.
I don't think she was as masterful as they say Giselle is.
Yeah, she do. She wanted to be a producer
because Nene wanted to orchestrate, but she would end up doing something in between. And she'd be in the middle of the bed.
Yeah, she can't help it.
She couldn't help it, but she used to try. She tried.
But if Candace learns to sit still, or even be like Phaedra and just say it, let it sting, and then stop. Because Candace, some of the stuff she say is so smart.
It's clever.
You have to think about it. But she don't let it stop. If she would stop it, you'd be like, damn, Candace is a bad. I mean, like, she is a reader. she will read you for filth, but she don't stop. And by the time she continues and continues, you tired. I don't want to read no more.
My daughter says she's not a good reader. She's mastered being mean. And that is the difference. Because she knows what hurts a person.
Mm-hmm.
There are places like, and that's where she goes, no matter who it is. And we've seen her do that with her husband, and I'm pretty sure she loves him.
Yeah, people obviously know what to say to hurt her too. They talk about her mom and
yeah, if you talk about and her music, but that's what I like about Candace is she lets you know how you hurt her.
She definitely has that kind of maturity.
Yes.
If Wendy had done that, just like you said earlier, she would have come out on top. But she's going so far, she has gained sympathy for Giselle. That's what
sympathize. Like and some people like, I don't even like Giselle, but Wendy is just doing too much. And I don't think it has to do with her color. I just do not think that has to do with her color.
And that girl, I said 70% of the season and 100% of the reunion, she sat up there like this. Like somebody was thinking or was ugly or something. Like, how would you allow the cameras to catch your face like that many times?
And do you think it was them trying? But I mean, give it to them. So Giselle's a fake. They do say, and Portia and Giselle are real good friends, but they do say that Giselle's always on time. She's always professional, and that could be why they like her too.
And she does.
So what do you think? Let's talk about. I know we got a little away from colorism a little bit, but the way that Candace speaks to her husband. What do you think about that, Callie?
She did.
You asked me.
Who did you?
I think he's the same way to her.
You think so?
Well, that's what they said. They have both said that.
She said, I don't think he does.
You know what? I wouldn't talk to my husband like that, but I can't, it doesn't sound good, but they have both acknowledged that's how they talk to each other.
But at home, like in private. Well, that's what she said anyway.
Is that what she said? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't talk to my spouse.
That's what she told me.
Because she said, me and Chris say that too, but we don't do it in public because he told her to shut the F up.
We do it at home.
Mm-hmm. So some people, do y'all think that Wendy is it colorism the way people are seeing Wendy right now?
No.
I'm talking about the people who are watching. Do y'all think that? Hold on. Her husband and her need to learn to check each other behind closed doors and not in front of everyone.
Because y'all don't like to see how they respond.
It hurts my soul.
I still say the worst thing she ever said to him is when she sent him that text because she asked him to hold his purse. Hold her purse. I mean, she called him a pathetic excuse of a man who's no better than his daddy.
Probably didn't hit on something right there.
Oh, I don't even. That's something that we will have to talk about because y'all think. Let me ask y'all: do y'all think Wendy is bleaching?
No.
I don't think she's bleached. I think she's using orange makeup to make her skin lighter. If you look at her pictures, her face is oranger or yellow. Maybe it's yellow undertone makeup. Yeah, but her neck is black still.
And her hands
and her hands are black still. But in that one thing, some of her hand was lighter. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Somebody do got a picture circulating. Hi.
Yeah. So people who are watching, we have a little delay, so they're going to answer later. But go ahead, Callie.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh my God, how old am I? When you said her hand was lighter, was it when her thumb was bent back?
When she had that glass?
Out there?
No, it was
but it's circulating. That because somebody circled the picture and said, tell me or something. Yeah, I've seen that.
I didn't see that one. It's a boomerang I sent y'all where her just her knuckles were kind of dark and then her entire hand
Maybe there was. I don't know. I've seen the picture.
So unless she's just soap? Can somebody tell us what cake soap is?
Right.
That's that stuff that
the bleaching cream.
Mm-hmm. It's orange. It's orange.
Her face is getting orange, y'all. It's like really. I'm not gonna show pictures because I just think you need to go to her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And her face is because if you look even on the reunion, because her and Eddie used to be like about the same color, but look at the reunion.
The lighting though.
But he right beside her.
I mean her though. Her lighting.
Do you think she has the spotlight more on her?
Probably.
So
I just don't think she is, but I know that Nigeria's
somebody said her breasts are high
yellow.
yellow.
They high yellow?
Her breasts are high yellow.
They might be lighter.
That's what Vibes Carter
Maybe
used to
it's
change his skin.
the cream she puts on her chest.
Oh Lord, who else? What are people saying? Wendy has horrible makeup first season. She's darker now than she was her first season.
Because so maybe she just started, because the people I see that skin bleach, that's the same person in the top.
No way.
Has Wendy just started, and how long will it be before she looks like Ashley?
There's no way that lady got that color.
That's what this says.
I saw something that I saw on TV because I was wondering, was it real? I mean, not on TV, like on YouTube or something. And it was this Africans in this tub, and their skin was coming off.
So is colorism so important that people want to be lighter?
Oh yeah.
I think it's a standard of beauty.
Oh.
So they're I guess I've been brown.
Yeah.
I sit in the middle. I sometimes look at this colorism thing almost, I think we said, like a tennis match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always see things, but I try not to I try not to. I don't understand. I ain't gonna say I don't understand. I don't know what it is to sit on either end.
Me, right. Like if you're in the middle, are we safer because we're in the middle?
No.
Like what? I mean,
it's not about safer. I just think that
because do people talk about us as much as what I'm saying? Like, do people
like just
talk about us as much, or find us more aggressive or less aggressive, or do we matter? Like, are we in this conversation being in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
So she said, people have Ambien and lying. Oh, lie? They put lie on their face?
Yeah, that's
why. And I would think it would burn it and
you take a bath in it, and they just sitting there like it ain't nothing.
So, Carla, so you're saying as a dark-skinned person, you do feel like you're looked down on? Do you feel you looked down on by white people, by black people, by everyone?
Girl, this a whole wig.
Is your hair wig?
This is.
No, it's not. I thought you just had your hair been like a little more.
It is. It's
Joy, that's
I done started. Look, I was washing my hair. Now y'all have made it twisted.
Wait, why you saying?
Okay. Used to be a lot by lighter skin women.
Look, I'm gonna have to get my clit tightened. I'm gonna have to get myself laughing.
You know what? You know what? I'm thinking back to
and it looked crooked on me. Now I'm be tripping off of this.
I have a question. Do you feel like white people treat you different because your skin is darker, or is it just black people? Oh, T want the wig.
Amazon.
T, do you have anything comments? Do you think there's colorism on Potomac within the cast and within the viewers, or both? Because I like T. Me and T sometimes don't agree, but she good. She good though. So it's our own. That's what I was thinking. I feel like sometimes white people feel like you closer to God with darker skin too.
But it comes out with fear.
Oh, you saw they think they're more fearful of darker people?
Yeah, especially men.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially men. I mean, any black is a problem if race is racist.
Right.
It may even be levels of racism. Like some people don't really know they racist. They think they trying to be cool, but they keep saying microaggressive type things.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah.
So let's talk. We talked about Potomac. So do you think there was colorism on Basketball Wives?
Oh, well.
So I feel like there's most definitely colorism within the viewers. Do you think there's colorism within the cast members?
On Basketball Wives, that last season with what was her name? OG.
Yeah.
Not that trip thing, but the season that they had CC and the other girl, Malaysia's cousin. When that last season is Malaysia, CC is married to his cousin.
Byron.
Her cousin, So, and the other girl was his sister-in-law's
Kristen.
But anyway, the point is, yes, I do think it was a particular class.
So lazy.
Because while OG definitely showed aggressive behavior at times, one of the real issues was that aggression wasn't built off of nothing.
Yes.
I don't know what you're gonna do. She actually played football. She came with some caveats that would make her feel like you would get hurt if you got into an altercation. And I mean, it's the nicest way to say that is this. She a reason to be scared of.
Right.
When you say you gonna beat my butt, you really might beat my butt.
But Evelyn would try to beat you up too if she felt like you were weaker.
But she never, with all of her whatever, she doesn't even barely tag a person.
Because they try to pull her back.
She jumping over tables. And that was always OG's argument, is that, all of these things that she has done, and she's never been considered aggressive. And that she was right about. We probably said she was crazy.
Evelyn was seen as aggressive to me. You're saying I don't think she was? Evelyn Lozado?
Evelyn was very aggressive.
Not to the point that we're saying now. I really can't remember back that far, but I remember people calling her crazy. She be tripping. I don't remember them labeling her aggressive.
No, not Evelyn. They never labeled her aggressive.
I have actually looked for a situation where the non-black person or the non-dark person isn't has been called aggressive. I'm looking for that situation because I ain't never seen it. I just have.
Before OG came on the show, I mean, they've addressed it at some of the reunions because all they were doing was fighting. So that in itself was, was labeling them as aggressive.
That's true, Charlotte.
I mean, yes, but I don't think that they got that label is OG's issue.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like OG was labeled
aggressive. Evelyn was never labeled
and
aggressive.
She was very aggressive.
And she done jumped over tables and had countless
bottles.
Yeah, that never pops up. That's why I said.
But Tammy was labeled aggressive.
Was she?
I don't think she was.
Oh,
but Tammy isn't what I would think is light skin either.
Yeah, Tammy's not light skin either.
Aggressive.
She may have been labeled a bully because for whatever reason, around that particular time, that was big.
The word bully was.
Yeah, the word bully.
Let's relook at some of these comments, y'all. Let's see. So T says T, I have a question. Do you think that there's favoritism on Potomac? She said there's colorism and favoritism on basketball.
Well, that's definitely, you couldn't deny that for whatever. And what's crazy is Tammy used to be a favorite.
Yeah.
Because when Evelyn left, Tammy was her moneymaker.
She said OG has some aggression, but she did self-control. Basketball wives, it's obvious. Evelyn's implied that her ex-husband couldn't possibly be attracted to darker skin. She did. Evelyn has been physical.
She?
Yeah. That's what she said. Your favorite player. What she say? I'm your favorite player's favorite player. What did she say? I'm your favorite athlete.
I'm the athlete. Favorite
athlete. That's why she said that.
Oh yeah, I got it. She didn't say that directly though, but I think she was shut up.
She did the favorite athlete thing.
No, that wasn't what I thought you were saying. That Evelyn, when OG threw it up in her face, she insinuated that Ocho definitely don't want you.
Yeah, that's why she did.
And
that's why she said that. He wants a black woman. He wants my lips. He likes my butt. And she said, he don't want your dirty ass. That's what all that came. I remember that verbatim. What is wrong with me? OG
and then Shawnee got hit pretty hard after that last season.
She should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she definitely.
And I actually am surprised that Shani didn't handle that better. Because to me, Shani could have had a conversation with OG, and even if they didn't, they were never going to agree, which is fine. But for her to, it was just certain things that Shani couldn't deny, and if she would have denied it, you would never. I guess what I'm saying is it should have been flipped back on Shani.
Right.
It looks, but they presented it as if OG really was the issue. If y'all heard the unedited tapes, I don't know if they're still online, they were insane how they was trying to pressure her to actually say on film it was something else. And I mean, how they were trying to switch her in that category, because all three, because Malaysia and the other girl came over there to talk to her, and they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
And then when I heard Jackie say it to her first, I'm just like, they would have done anything, because they would have cut that and put that anywhere. They would have done that voiceover, but she never gave them that sound bite. But seriously, OG, they were really manipulative. That's why Shani just said, I ain't giving her no more money.
Yeah, she thought she ended the season.
So she quit.
Yep. Shani handled that very poorly. She sent everyone to speak to OG instead of just going herself. That is so true. And she exposed them with the tape.
OG and Tammy. I mean, not OG, but Shani was in a way afraid of Tammy and Evelyn, not necessarily because they were going to come at her, but they were her money makers on the show.
I agree with that. I agree. Now that I agree with.
Yeah, so I think
I definitely agree with that.
Them out on that stuff, and I think.
But you still got to, don't you think?
I definitely agree with that. Shani wasn't going to allow her money makers. She kept them close.
Yep.
That is a good point.
When she had said some wrong things, Tammy called Shani out at a couple of the interviews for stuff she had said to Evelyn, and Shani was like, "Well, I ain't in there. Leave me out. Oh, Tammy, leave me alone. Leave me alone." Yeah, Tammy, that was a weird situation. She should have handled that differently. But Tammy's not coming back. Evelyn's not coming back. And if OG's
this
not
cast
coming back,
is bad, I heard. They're going to be fighting a lot.
Malaysia don't even really have that spirit. Although she fought on the first day of film in LA. But she's really kind of timid. Because I always think she's trying to play bad when she played.
No, you did not.
Trying to go kill her.
She don't even talk like somebody that can whoop nobody.
Hello, my name.
Yeah, she talks so. She don't even look like. But I saw her fight because she can fight. She fought Laura.
Okay, Gloria. What's her name? Not Gloria. What? Laura. Laura can fight too. Gloria can fight her sister.
And both of them was like 3 months postpartum.
Yeah.
Both of them had just had a baby.
And was out there tearing up.
See, we don't need Candace them and the girls with them because they're going to get beat up, all of them.
I mean, because Laura was moving around like she just had a baby. She's out there really whooping some tail. It was.
So I can't lie. She so people like Tammy's fighting.
The only time I felt, because I'm a big fan of Tammy Rowlands. I just have been. I look at her as somebody I've grown up with because since I was singing high school. Right. So, but girl, I forgot.
I don't know. I gotta make sure
I forgot what I was going to say about Tammy. Oh, I don't know what I was going to say, but I will say this about Tammy. I watched 3 different shows that woman is on. 3 good.
She's the girl right now, and she's doing the View, not the View, the Real right now too.
Is she?
Because Jeannie's on maternity leave, so she's doing a week. I think Nene's gonna do a week for a few days. Yeah.
What y'all think about? They say Coleslaw getting a TV
show. I'm not.
Did we talk about that yesterday?
We talked about yesterday on Love and Marriage. Yeah.
Okay. Let me stop.
I'm saying, do we have anything else about colorism? Do y'all? Anybody else have anything to?
That's a cast I definitely don't see no colorism on. I don't.
Oh, in Huntsville.
Yeah, I don't like the conversations that I hear people that talk about, particularly Wanda. I think there are more socioeconomic issues.
Yeah,
on there. I definitely think that's on there.
Girl, she said, "I don't." Is this Lisa? I don't believe, bro. So she baked beans now. Baked beans are pretty good though, so I don't think
I can't believe that
Baked beans.
I can't believe that Carlos King would let Bravo make money off of him. And
yes,
Martell ain't gonna do nothing but put a cease and desist
yeah,
against
Martell
her
ain't gonna let
and
her.
that baby.
Martell gonna say,
Mhm.
if you do this, you can't give me no more fellatio. And she gonna be like, okay, Martell, I ain't gonna do it. We
Oh my
cannot
God,
get on
okay,
my
okay,
knees
okay.
for you. Come on, Martell. So she ain't gonna do it. Why are we talking about this?
I have no idea.
So yes, Tammy did take that lady's purse on Basketball Wives.
That's
What was
the
her name?
meanest.
Keisha?
That was the craziest.
That did
thing.
it for me.
That hurt my
Oh,
heart.
that just broke
That's
my
what actually I
heart.
was going to say.
Yeah.
Y'all must have read my thoughts, because my thoughts really were, the only time that I just felt really bad is when she took that girl purse when they was in the Caribbeans or wherever what's her name? Kenya
or Keisha, one of them.
Keisha.
It was Keisha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tammy did explain years later that they kind of put her in that situation.
Production told her too.
Yeah, something like that. But
What did she put fish in their room? Was that her too?
That was Lozado.
I
That was like they put fish in her room.
I remember that. And they hid it place.
And they hid it from her. Yeah. So did y'all, okay, I'm going to get personal here and then we probably can get off in a little while. But did y'all experience colorism? Did you see it in your families? Like favoritism or colorism within your families?
Oh, absolutely.
I ain't going to say favorite.
Let me just say positive. I could have robbed a bank, but there was nothing but positive around my name. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. So the lighter people were more positive, and then the darker were kind of the bad person, like Tyler Perry does in his movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sad because families put things on people, and they don't always realize what they're saying and what they're doing. And, then years later you hear somebody saying, well, I want to be with that person so that I can have a lighter kid. That's happened twice.
Oh, you've heard that?
That's happened twice in my family. And then to one of my really good friends said that I was so glad my baby came out light with green eyes. Yes.
Awful.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard things here and there. I've heard things, but I definitely don't think there's favoritism on either side of the family. Mm-hmm. If anything, we on my daddy's side, because it's not a whole lot of us, we argue over me and my little cousins who was grandma's favorite. Now
I say I'm my granny's favorite. Okay, that's my granny. Now we will do that. Yes. So. What about the people who are watching? Do y'all think so? Do y'all have any? I think. Because we've been on here about an hour and 40. So I didn't think we were going to have nothing to say. We had a lot to say.
We done got so off of
I know. Not in my family. That's why I put us back. Did y'all see my question? No, not in my family. Maybe in a business setting. We do have cousins that came out light and green, and people come in because you don't see it often. Right, they were treated just like the rest of us. Yeah.
Oh, and I will say that it was a Robin Giselle girl in high school that we were going on a field trip. My mother was dark skinned. My dad was mixed with white. But the girl on the bus, we were going past some fields and it was the black cows and everything. And she said one of those black cows was my mother.
No, she did not.
Did you lose your mind? And Giselle. Huh?
Oh, did you lose your
mind? No, I didn't. My mother taught me how to not.
Do you think Robin and Giselle do that though? Because I feel like they want to be black.
But I treated her like hell for the rest of the life.
And Alicia Keys too. I feel like they want to prove they black, so they do a whole bunch of stuff to be like, I'm black. You don't know I'm black.
Do you know how do y'all remember the story on how they actually met?
Robin and Giselle?
Yeah.
That people said, that's the girl that looked like you.
Yeah, they lived in they both lived in Maryland.
Yeah.
And people used to say, you have to be related to Giselle.
Yep.
And both of them have been hearing about that. I just rewatched that first episode. Yeah. Giselle said, they have been hearing that for years. Can you imagine? Just because two black girls that have green eyes, people thought they had to be related. And I think Sharice ended up hooking them.
Yeah, they went to a party and they sat at the same table and they've been friends ever since. But Robbie said, I used to see you on the side of the bus. So I guess her and Jamal, their church must have had an ad.
Oh, okay.
And on the benches and the thing.
Okay.
She said, but I never met you. And see, that some people feel like that's colorist, that they just want to be friends because of that. But no, that's familiarity. Big familiarity. Because if you are in a room and say you see another black girl, who you gonna go to? Because you know her. That's who you know. So I don't think that they became friends because they both light skinned with green eyes. But it was just like, oh my God, can you believe that we are this? You know what I mean?
To me, when you think about that, that seemed like if you take out all the racism and the history that come with colorism, you know, I would say that they were destined to meet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I thought it was funny when I heard. I said, "Wait a minute," because I didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the very first episode.
They talked about it on Reasonably Shady too, because I didn't remember till they talked about it on Reasonably Shady. And she said, ever since that day, they sat beside each other. Sharice put them beside each other. They were like, "You the girl that they've been talking about," and then they were friends ever since.
Yeah, I didn't hear it off Reasonably Shady. I listened to it. But it went, part of that is on the first episode.
Oh, here go another.
They just didn't say that part, that they went to a party together. She just said that they both have been hearing from people that it's this black girl named Robin. I know y'all gotta be ready.
Y'all gotta be sisters, yeah.
And they were. So when they finally met, it was just like they were soulmates.
I know Robin on one thing, she had one with Steph Curry's sister. And she said that some people think I'm your mother. I'm like, Robin don't look that old. I mean, she may look like their mama, but she don't look that old. Do y'all think Robin look that old? Okay. So do you think her? Yeah, her and Erica Lyles has light skin.
And both her
parents really light.
And she's a light. I don't think her eyes are green. I think her eyes are gray. But I remember when we were in high school once, it's a true story. I went to high school with Erica Lyles. Anyway, we were in this class together. I was in 10th grade. She was in the 12th. And we had went on this field trip. I'll never forget. And it was the acting. We were in this acting class. And this white guy hooked up with some friend. We had to drive somewhere in Alabama. I can't even remember where it was. And it was only like 4 black people in the whole class. So this white guy had came in the room. Somehow he came in our room because the black girls were sharing a room. Okay. And he looked at Erica. He was so confused. And then he eventually just said, "Excuse me." He just flat out had to ask her, "Are you," I forgot. I can't remember if he asked her, "Are you black?" Or he asked her something to make her tell him.
Really?
Wow.
Her eyes were really nice. We used to. Really,
and her hair is kind of sandy, right?
Yeah, her hair is sandy. She looked like it was like my grandmother. I had not met another black girl that had like blonde hair and was black. And my grandmother was like that. And I remember saying that at some point of me meeting her. But yeah.
So Callie, she said, I certainly agree with your experience, but I feel the viewers are projecting their own personal similar experiences when it comes to, I guess, the colorism within Potomac.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to watch it and see, but I just don't feel like that they're colorist on that show. The cast member.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But I respect that you do, because you could probably see something different, especially when you're talking about the experiences you did when you grew up.
You know, when we were getting into it a couple of weeks ago, Joy, I really wondered, does Candace have the wrong definition of what colorism is? Is that why she's thinking it's colorism?
I think from her view, I think she does feel like she gets a harder break than the other ladies. I think
everybody sees and agrees with that, but
I think it's because the viewers also feel like, regardless if it's rooted on reality or not, the audience feels like she takes things too far. There is a larger audience that says she takes it too far than the ones that's saying, I don't blame her, is what I'm saying.
So I have a question now that you said that. So since Candace knows this, colorism or not, should she stop? Should she, if they're saying you're going too far?
Is she falling into the same stereotype that she wants?
Yeah. Should she, because that's how people feel about her, should she
she should want to get
herself.
better control of her own self just because.
What do you
But
think?
I said the same thing about Wendy because I think she is going to fall into this stereotype.
I do too.
And I really think it's coming.
I think it's helpful to know how you're going to react to, I agree with that little. I hate to agree with Joyce sometimes, y'all, but I do agree.
I'm going to pay on myself. Y'all got to stop this shit tonight.
I do think that sometimes, because when you asked me, did I go off on the girl that said that about my mother? I didn't, because I knew if I go off on her, I would be giving out attention. So I do think that sometimes you ought to be able to think and know yourself and then pull back based on that.
Self-control.
That's why I never said anything to her at that moment, because I wouldn't be here today. Okay. Yeah.
That's self-control. I mean, and that's all that I think that people, of course, Candace should have things to say, but we know she has self-control because she showed it with Monique.
She does.
Because she walked away from Monique. Every time you saw her, she was walking away or apologizing.
Mm-hmm. Right. So she got hit and attacked anyway.
I know. So she damned if she do, damned if she don't.
And Candace is still the only person that talked to Gigi and still ain't said nothing and is still being affected by Monique. Even to today. I think about that all the time because I think she got a big mouth, but she still ain't said
She ain't said nothing bad about that
And
girl.
This woman, just to kind of put this in perspective, it wasn't that they're still messing with her. That picture that Mia had on her Instagram about with Candace's feet, talking about how crusty it is, that comes from Monique's friend.
Yeah.
It was sent by her friend. Mia accidentally sent the Instagram picture exactly how it came to her.
She new to the program.
So I'm just saying, like, it's still affecting her.
Yeah.
She actually has shows canceled. Like
because of that girl.
And my point is, Candace still ain't said nothing.
Oh yeah, can't they? Yeah, Gigi tried to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
For a while, Gigi was the one. We was thinking she was going to
Gigi, she didn't talk to everybody. Allegedly, she tried to call Ashley. Ashley would hear it. She, according to Gigi, she never talked to Giselle or Robin. They weren't even in it. They just literally was a volunteer.
Did she ever try to, though?
No. She had no access to them. She actually had access to Sharice because at some point, Monique, Gigi were hanging out with Sharice. And sometimes Ashley tagged along because they were all close. So yeah, they just
I was on some of them lives.
Sharice said she seemed a bit off.
I think she was kind of hurt more than anything.
She definitely is bitter.
Yeah, and sometimes that's why I say it comes off as bitter and a little vindictive. And she probably was, you know what I mean?
Because in her head, how their friendship fell apart, she thought she was helping.
Yeah. But we're not gonna get into the baby gate or whatever you call it. But,
Trainer gate.
Trainer gate, yeah, that's what we'll call it. Right. So anything else on colorism? I guess we might as well go on to the next 5 minutes. We'll be here for 2 hours. So I have a question. So if Potomac, if they cast women all the same shade, light or dark, do you think people would complain? Like if they cast all the people who look like Giselle and Robin and Ashley, or if they cast all the people who look like Wendy and
I just think we're an array of hues. I didn't even notice until that Monique, well, I guess because Sharice has always been there. Yeah. That most of them were lighter. I honestly didn't even trip off of it until I heard that comment that Karen said when she said about Wendy. I was like, this was my 5th season watching this show, and it never dawned on me that it was no darker skinned women.
It dawned on me when somebody posted that Mia was coming, and somebody was like, why do they have another light skinned girl? And I was like, what y'all talking about? And they was like, the only dark skinned person on there at the time is, I think they said Candace or something. And
is that why they had two different people from New York, Ebony K, and then the other lady one was
maybe
like,
so.
so they can
And I was like, no, I remember Sharice was dark, Katie was dark, Monique was my light. And I started naming all these people, and they were like, oh, I forgot about them. So sometimes I think we kind of focus on what we focus on.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I mean, it is a valid looky. I mean, you done watched something a million times, it never even dawned on my mind. Because when I had thought about it, I started thinking about Atlanta. Atlanta really did have a brown cast.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Georgia just said that. Look at George's comment. You and Georgia been on the same accord all night.
Yeah.
Is that you, Joy?
Yeah. Atlanta, it's an all brown cast. Because I had never even thought about it.
Me either.
Because to me, I'm looking at black women.
Me too.
So I'm just not that color conscious.
Claudia was probably yellow, and Eva.
Oh yeah, she was Claudia, and Nene brought. I don't like that. Nene, one of the things I didn't like that Nene said to her, girl, don't nobody want to hear that light skin. It's that theory, the jilted mulatto theory. She was like, don't nobody want to hear this light skin issue or something.
Really?
And I remember, Nene, and I thought that was so cruel. Honestly, I'm be honest, I thought that was Nene being a producer and knew what her storyline was.
Probably, yeah.
And that's why, because it was so like, who says that to another black woman?
Oh, and so colorism wasn't introduced. So do we introduce colorism unintentionally in our show?
It ain't no,
Gosh, man.
The mere fact that we still use racist, we say things to one another that no other race can. We don't want to even say that.
I don't say the word. Yeah, I don't say the N word.
And we keep telling this stuff generation after generation, and I don't ever think it's a sit down. We're learning behaviors.
That's right, Georgia. And didn't she wasn't she with both of her grandmothers at one show? Claudia with her older dark grandmother and her white grandmother.
I don't know.
You remember that?
I didn't really watch Atlanta after a little while. I got kind of over.
Yeah, I watched it, but I don't remember.
Watch it with Claudia on there? Claudia went.
I remember her saying her hair was ramen noodles, and that's all I remember.
I don't remember that episode. And she was kind of boring to me. I thought that was her mother, unless I'm thinking it's her, because I see her sitting in a restaurant with somebody in my head.
But it could have been her mother.
Did her mother come on the show?
I thought it was grandma, but I couldn't.
I remember white lady. Yeah, I thought that was her mother.
Maybe it was.
So she said, yes, we introduce it as viewers, projecting our personal experiences. Potomac cast. I feel like they are all good friends. I feel like they punking us on certain aspects.
No,
I do feel like Ashley and Candace kind of are really at odds. But I think everybody else is friend. And Wendy now.
I think they made up.
Yeah, they done made up.
I think that's the secret. Remember, we heard the tip. There was a tip that came in and said that there is something didn't mend, and the other tip was somebody an unlikely friendship.
An unlikely friendship, and they were just hanging out with Giselle, Candace, and Ashley.
Yeah, in New York.
In New York, and then I think they went to Fashion Week together. That might have been when Fashion Week at.
Yeah. I think everybody is
cool was Wendy and Giselle
with one another except Wendy and Giselle.
So I asked Eddie, he didn't answer me, but because I said Eddie posted something, I swear it was Wendy. I said, Wendy, is this you? He was like, no, it's me, Eddie. I said, I said, well, can y'all make up with Giselle because I'm tired of y'all fighting? And he didn't answer me. So
yeah, and that's what people, I think they underestimate. It'll go to, and that's, y'all want to see colorism? Y'all really gonna think that's colorism. If Wendy comes back here as the villain, because this show, for real, really don't have a villain. Giselle is the villain, but she ain't really no villain.
She ain't really no good villain.
An SHIT maker. Yeah. She just make mess.
Okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, right. It's like Candy called Ashley a roach, but feel colorism is an issue when Ashley called her 4C hair dry. Ashley hair dry.
Surely. And she said that like Ashley was a white woman.
Right. Ashley got like dry hair.
said that like she was like, and as a black woman, like Ashley is. I was like, this girl in
love. Talked about my dry hair, and I'm like, Ashley hair might have a little curl to it, but her hair dry. Like she needs some moisturizer, some keratin.
It is so funny.
So do y'all think that? So but Candace can't be a colorist, right? Because she's darker. Candace, she can't do colorism
according to the definition. But let it for somebody who always want to point out colorism. This is the same girl who mixes more racially charged things than anybody on this cast. Like, who would think in their head, as a black woman married to a white man, who has a co-star who's also a black woman married to a white man, would actually call her husband an overseer?
Call her
and while she didn't call her a slave online, she then explained, yes, I said he was an overseer because he oversees his slaves.
To his slaves, yeah.
So even though she didn't call her slave then, she said it then, she has called her a bed wrench. Like, what biblical issues do you have other than Amazing Grace that you would think or watch and you write some kind of slave movie would make you call another woman a bed wrench?
A bed wrench. Ashley's a black woman. Ashley does have a black mama, honey.
Right. She got it from, and her only family is black. This ain't no black girl that grew up with all around white people.
Yeah, because people really do try to dispute that Robin them is not all the way black. And I'm like, yes, they are. You can't define someone's blackness anyway. My friend Jessica and Crystal are white and they blacker than me. You hear me? I'm like, how y'all know that?
You know what?
I ain't lying, y'all. I'm like, y'all right. But yeah, I agree that. I agree. But yeah, so and she said, okay, I don't think that that colorism works both ways, and that we're saying it doesn't. If the light bright says they are black, why would anyone try to not a light bright?
I don't like that.
Lighter brighter.
You make up a really good point, because I don't like that. I don't like when people who tell you that they black, and because they're light skinned, we're saying that they're not enough. I don't like that.
I don't either.
It's one thing to come across somebody's politics and you calling them an Oreo or something. Y'all remember the white light-skinned guy who did this phenomenal speech at like the BET Awards or something?
Oh, I love him.
He's on some show.
I'm so mad.
What is he? He's on what?
He was on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes. What's his name?
Jax. I don't know his real name. His name Jackson on the show.
Yeah. Well, because he's a nice looking guy, and he did this phenomenal speech, and then afterwards, the whole world wanted to salute him, and then they like, nah, you ain't dark enough.
That was wrong. And his wife was dark, and he got a new girlfriend though. She dark too. He didn't go.
I was just gonna say, because he left her for a white woman.
No, he got a black girl. She dark.
Okay, now, he left that white woman alone, but he left his wife.
So that's why people, because I was like,
yes,
no, he did.
And it was like very shortly after that speech. And when I say shortly, I mean it was maybe a month.
Y'all stop lying. Dr. Jackson did not do that.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Well, on Grey's Anatomy, he left the black girl on the altar to marry the white girl, April. I stopped watching after that. He did. Jesse Wilson. I call him Jackson, but that is his name.
Yeah.
But then
I stopped on the show, he fought for white people.
I've
been saying the same thing. Candy treats Ashley like she's beneath her because she was poor. Because she did tell
I didn't even think about a socioeconomic
and raised in a black neighborhood, but Candace was raised in a predominantly white neighborhood and spews her elitist attitude towards Ashley. Candy acts towards Ashley how Michael treats Crystal. Child.
You know what?
Well,
Georgia. Right.
Georgia.
I didn't even think about it from that standpoint.
Georgia.
I always looked at it, Georgia, as Ashley didn't get her money. She got it from messing with this old dude, because Candace is disgusted by him. And I think she wants to feel like Ashley could do better. Because I think it's some care underneath there.
She thinks that she's too good for Michael.
Yes. And Georgia
said,
Michael.
Can I copy paste this? How I do that? That is so good.
Screen print it. I'll send it to you.
Girl.
But you're so right, because Michael definitely is an elitist. And I just, that's how my issue with Candace, I just kind of thought she didn't like Ashley because she felt like she slept her way into a situation.
Because somebody posted this, and I know we are for colorism. Now we're going to be on gold diggerism. So somebody posted in this one group, why y'all gonna be mad at Candace because she grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth, and y'all like the women who slept their way to the top, and they gonna say like Karen. No, they said like Giselle, Ashley, and Mia. I said, first of all, you left Karen out, and Giselle didn't do that.
Right.
Why do people take? I don't understand.
They wanted to say they were kept women.
Yeah,
Giselle was never, was she?
She was never. She convinced him when they were together on Weasley Shade, is what she said, that they would travel to other churches and people would follow him. And she was like, I think you could have your own church. I think you have a big enough following for this. And that's why he started it. He wasn't no mega pastor when they were together in the beginning.
He should have been with them little good looks of his. I'm just saying.
But just all of them.
Girl, you think he good looking?
He ain't good looking.
I mean, he ain't a bad looking, but he has charisma. I can see why he definitely ain't bad looking.
Charisma. He has cash registers.
You think he got?
And while people are talking about his taxes, this man was just in Turks and Caicos, and now he in Africa preaching.
Yeah.
Giselle said he probably will be at her house Thanksgiving if he's here back in time. I'm just gonna tell you what she said.
Oh, she said that
on Reasonably Shady Thanksgiving edition.
Well, and I was just gonna say they keep in contact with him because Wendy knew when Jamal was in town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when they went on vacation.
When they went on, that's why she was late. She was getting some vitamin D.
You think so? You think they still? I didn't think that was gonna work because I knew Giselle wasn't gonna leave until they fire her.
Yeah.
Giselle wasn't leaving Potomac where her bread and butter lies.
Right. I don't think Robin will either.
Mm-mm.
Well, she bought a house there. She got roots. She got young children.
Yeah.
Giselle, she got one that I think is 16 and 17.
And 15.
Yeah. Giselle ain't got that long in that house. That house is, y'all may think it look crazy.
It's her
investment property. She paid cash for.
Yeah, I don't think Giselle wants to be a first lady either.
You don't think so?
I think she's done with that. I think Giselle is having a hot girl summer, and it might become lukewarm after a while. She'll go back to Jamal, but right now it's hot. It's a hot box, Karen. Okay. Are we done? Okay, y'all. It's 8:00. Are we done?
All right, yeah. Let's get off here.
All right, we had a good time, y'all. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Sometime.
Latoria wants us to do it again, so maybe your daughter can do it without just retaliating.
His family is affluent. Yeah, I did hear.
I feel like all of them really on Potomac besides Ashley.
George is talking some hot girl decade.
Hot girl decade. Hey, hot girl decade. When I went to the little concert, I said I tried to drop it like it's hot, but honey, it's lukewarm over here. My thighs hurt, my back hurt.
And
funniest story is my best friend trying to prove to the kids that she still got it.
Yeah,
as a principal and did a split, she still get hormones.
Girl, I can't get back up. I could do a split foot right now, but somebody got to lift me out of it. I used to drop into it. Honey, the percolator was my dance. Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's the one that.
And you go down to a Chinese split, and I used to bounce it down, y'all.
It's time for the percolator.
Yes. Okay. But anyway, so we will do this again because a few people could not get on because of the holidays, but it'll probably be later. But anyway, y'all ready to piece it out? Let's 1, 2, 3. Thank you all for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the socials.
Thank you, little Muhammad, for helping with the moderation.
Thank y'all. Happy Thanksgiving or whatever you celebrate.
Girl.